Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Well, dear students, today we are going to start our unit number 8, and that is a poem by James Reeves. The title is The Sea. Well, the poem's opening line actually establishes the extended metaphor uh, that is here. The sea is a hungry dog. So the sea is given the qualities of a living thing, that is a dog. So he has created a metaphor, and it runs through the entire poem. So, by aligning the sea with the hungry dog, Reeves, the poet, immediately views it with the wilderness and implies it could be a dangerous if provoked. And moreover, the wild motions of a dog driven to frustration by hunger is the perfect metaphor for the crashing and unforgiving waves of the ocean on a stormy day. And finally, the evocation of a dog emphasizes the fact that the sea can be a source of comfort and joy to some, but instill fear in others, because it is the same for the people when they encounter dogs. So let us start with stanza by stanza, line by line, and we may see here that the first line is: the sea is a hungry dog. Giant. Giant means very big, huge, and grey. That refers to the color of the water that is normally grey in the seas. He rolls on the beach all the day. That means the waves strike the beach all day long, and it is clashing teeth and shaggy jaws. Clashing means very big, huge, and biting, and shaggy means a little untidy. Hour upon hour he gnaws. Gnaw means he bites. So the rumbling, tumbling stones, that means when the waves of the sea strike the stones on the beach, on the shore, well, obviously the stones they give a sound, splashing sound, and they tumble. That means they shiver or they are moved. And bones, bones, and bones. That means it's like a huge dog, and the word so this line, the bones, bones, and bones, well, it can be interpreted in different ways. Actually, the repetition of this word symbolizes the sea's relentless power to break down everything, and it may also refer to the nature cycle, as bones could signify the sea's role in nature's cycle of life, death, and decay. So basically, it is to show the sea's force that crushes and scatters bone, and so that is the raw power of the sea, which has been explained by this line. So the giant sea dog moans. Moans means it cries or laments, licking his greasy paws. Paws means the feet, and so obviously because the shores, the beach or the corner of the sea, definitely that is a bit slippery or greasy. So that is how the poet has actually explained that the sea is very powerful, and it goes on and on, and the cycle of the nature, the waves, they are carried all day long. Well, if we talk about the poetic devices used in this stanza, well, the very first, as we have already explained, that is the sea is a hungry dog. Here we have metaphor, because he is directly referring to the sea is directly compared with the dog. And then we have the personification, when he says seas behave like a living creature, it is behaving like a dog. And we have definitely the imagery as well, visual image of rolling and tumbling, all that. So these are, and here we have the repetition as well. these are some of the poetic devices that are used to a stanza. Dear students, in the second stanza, it says, and when the night wind roars and the moon rocks in the stormy cloud, he bounds to his feet and snuffs and sniffs, shaking his wet sides over the cliffs, and howls and hollows long and loud. In addition to the metaphorical dog, the poet uses zoomorphism to describe the wind, thus imbuing it with ferocity or wilderness due to the dominant and aggressive connotations of the loins. So there is a use of sibilance, which is actually the repetition of hissing or the hushing sounds like S or Z or SH. So here we have the hissing sound, the use of sibilance in the third line, and the effect or the purpose is to create a specific mood or add emphasis. So that is why the poet is using it, and that actually evokes the sounds of the rushing wind, allowing people to feel absorbed in the scene as though they were also standing on the beach. And moreover, the use of assonance in the stanza's final line here, as we see that the use of vowel sound in the nearby words, that is assonance. That actually serves to elongate the line due to the way the O sound is pronounced. It says that it is shaking his wet sides, so that means the sea is definitely moving on, and it howls, and so this elongation actually could reflect the vastness of the sea, how vast or big the sea is, but also the fact that it storms and winds can seemingly drag on forever at times. So these are some of the things that are present in the poem. Let us also now discuss some of the other poetic devices that are used in this stanza. So here again we see personification is there when the sea reacts to night and storm. The imagery has been used when it says the stormy cloud, and so the visual imagery is there, and the use of onomatopoeia is there when it says it roars and howls. So all these poetic elements are present in this second stanza. Okay, dear students, in the third stanza, we see that the sea calms down like a tired dog when he says his head between his paws, and it rests and quietly looks at the moon. And it says that in the May and June, when the sea is not rough, there are no tides, even the grasses, it says on the dunes, mean on the sands, are not playing any reedy tunes. That means wind is not there. So it has actually tied down, and the winds are down. Although calm now, the sea still desires something, and so that is how. Actually, we see that a juxtaposition, as the previous two stanzas by presenting that the sea was a very ferocious kind of entity, but now it is calmed down and it has a peaceful presence. So typified by the peaceful connotations of the repeated adjective quiet, quiet. So the descriptions in this stanza stress the stagnant nature of the scene in direct contrast to the poet's earlier use of dynamic verbs. Just to showcase the fact that the ocean and the metaphorical dog are calmer than they were before. So the transition ensures the poem ends on a hopeful note by implying that no matter how severe it may seem when you are in it, that it will always pass and things will improve for the better. So that is how the poem ends. Now let us look at some of the poetic devices that are being used in this stanza. Well, as we have been saying, we have just seen the juxtaposition, as we have said, the contrast from the earlier stanzas. The symbolism is there because the bones actually they are suggesting the destruction. Then personification that is there, the sea dreams and gazes, and definitely the word calm that actually suggests that there is a contrast ending the violent after the violent action. So all these elements are there in the poem, but if we say just to end our discussion, well, we have already seen that it is written in three uneven stanzas. Just to sum up, the poem begins by comparing the ocean to a hungry dog on account of its energy and potential violence. But as the poem progresses, the poet describes the sea in many different states, emphasizing its innate changeability. But by the time the third stanza concludes, the sea has grown calm, and in order to reflect this, Reeves likens it to a dog that has exhausted itself and has decided to rest, content with its situation. So that is how the poem actually started off in a very violent, in a very wild manner, but ends in a very calm or peaceful situation. That means we have already suggested that no matter how powerful the storm is, how difficult the situation is, we should always be hopeful that it will end on a very peaceful note. So that is how, dear students, we have come to the end of this explanation of the poem. I hope you have understood the poem and you'll be able to answer any question that arises in your paper. Thank you very much, dear students.